This is the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. It's got a brand new redesign, new features, and some real improvements. But the question is, should you upgrade? And to answer that, I wanted to take us back for a second. When the iPhone 6 came out, it was a pretty big deal. A bigger screen, rounded edges, and Apple's very first camera bump. So why is that important? Because ever since then, Apple's only redesigned their phones about every 4 years or so. After the iPhone 6, things were pretty similar until the iPhone 10, which was the next big leap. Then the iPhone 13, and now finally, the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've been using this phone for about a week now, and to me, it looks and feels awesome. But let's dive in and break down everything you need to know, starting with the design. Every Pro iPhone until now has used either stainless steel or titanium. But now, for the first time ever, the Pro models are switching to aluminum. So here's the trade-off. Aluminum is a lot softer than both stainless steel and titanium, so it's a lot easier to scratch and dent the phone, which we've actually been seeing already with these Pro models. But the good thing about aluminum is it handles heat a lot better. My iPhone 15 and 16 Pros were always overheating, but now this 17, I've had it for about a week and I haven't had any issues. This overheating thing has actually been a pretty big issue for a lot of people, so Apple's actually taking two different angles to help combat this. And the first one is the unibody aluminum frame. And second, they've added a vapor chamber cooling system inside. That's the kind of stuff you'd probably see in like a gaming phone or laptop, so it's really cool to see it on an iPhone. So as far as the actual shape, it is technically a little bit thicker and bigger and heavier, but you honestly probably won't even tell a difference. It's such a small difference. You could actually put a 17 Pro Max case on a 16 Pro and it seems to fit pretty good to me. If you flip the phone over, you can't miss the huge new camera plateau. It's a lot bigger than before, and Apple actually integrated the antenna band around it. There's also a new antenna on top of the phone instead of on the side. That way your hands are less likely to block signal while you're holding it. As far as durability, the front glass now uses Ceramic Shield 2, which Apple claims is the toughest front glass yet. And the back glass also has been upgraded to a new Ceramic Shield panel. That means less scratches and hopefully more drop protection too. But of course, we've already seen phones getting wrecked at the Apple stores by the MagSafe stands. Another really small change is now the speaker system is symmetrical on bottom and the top speaker is a lot bigger. This means a lot more clear, loud sound when you're doing things like watching videos. The display itself also got a pretty big upgrade, making it a lot brighter, going from 2000 to 3000 nits. One other thing, if you get an eSIM only phone, you actually get a little bit more battery because they just use that space to add more battery instead of a SIM card. Charging itself has also been improved. Now you can charge your phone up to 40 watts, and with better heat management, it should preserve your battery a lot longer. Now powering all this is the A19 Pro chip. It's got a 6-core GPU and a dedicated neural accelerators, which means graphic-heavy apps and AI-driven features will run smoother than ever. But of course, on a Pro phone, the real magic is in the cameras, and they've actually upgraded these quite a bit this year, so let's talk about it. Let's start with the front camera because Apple's made some huge improvements here. It's now an 18 megapixel camera. Apple added ultra stabilized video to the front lens and a new feature called dual capture. But obviously, the real star of the show is going to be the back camera. Apple's gone all in with a 48 megapixel fusion lens system across the board. So no matter what you're shooting, wide, ultra wide, or telephoto, you're getting sharp, detailed, and improved low light performance. The telephoto lens in particular got a serious upgrade. It now has a 56% larger sensor with up to 8 times zoom, making it the best zoom camera Apple's ever put on an iPhone. And for professionals, you have things like ProRes RAW capture and even Gen Lock support, which is really cool, but I don't think anyone's gonna really use that. Honestly, the experience as a whole just feels a lot more refined than last year where we had that huge letdown with the iPhone 16 Pros and the Apple Intelligence that just didn't do anything. I think it looks cool and it's a much better phone than the 16 Pros, but the aluminum design is kind of a bummer because it is a lot softer and we've seen people scratching these phones already. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.